Hey Scrapbookers, it's Vanessa here with another process video using my April stash kit. And I have to say that this layout is probably one of my favorites that I've created in a while. I really love how it turned out. And so I'm just showing you everything that I pulled. And one of the things I love about this page is that I actually have pulled out and used some stamps. And I keep saying that I have all these stamps and I really need to use them. So I was so excited to have put this layout together, and I'm using my supplies that I have, and I really should use them because I love how it turns out. I love the graphic design of this layout, and you will see it how it all comes together here. So I decided for this layout that I wanted to use frames. So I have all these frame stamps, and I love a good frame stamp. As you can see, I have lots of them. I have one from Altenew, I have one from Scraptastic, and I have one from Paper Tray Ink. I love these. I love that I can stamp a label in any color that I want whenever I need one. So yeah, a big fan of these kinds of stamps. And so for this layout, I wanted to use just the labels, though, that had a square corner or square edge or straight edge, I guess I should say, around each of the labels. I didn't want any of the curved or scallopy kind of labels. I wanted just the straight edge. So I pulled out my MISTI because that is the perfect tool to use when you are stamping an all over background like I will be doing here. And as you can see, the whole reason to have one of these platforms is because when you don't stamp it perfectly, like I am doing here, and it doesn't cover completely, you can re-ink and you can restamp as many times as you need to. And it does take me a few times because one of my labels is going outside of the platform. It's making it a little bit hard to stamp. So it does take me a few tries, but I eventually get it. And I'm not looking for these to be perfect either. I am, this is hand stamped and I like that look. And so it's a mixed media sort of thing. And so I wasn't looking for perfection. So as you can see, I did not make you watch me do that, but I went through and I stamped down one whole side of this white cardstock, and I love how it looks. I love all these different frames in all different sizes, and I didn't do perfect spacing between them all. I just sort of eyeballed it and made it how I liked it, and I cut out a section of it. I knew I wasn't going to use the whole page, but I cut out a good chunk, and that is where my design is going to focus around these frames that I have. And I love it. I love the graphical nature of it. I love this background. So in addition, from my kit, I did pull this green pattern paper, and I went and I just cut 2 strips of that. And then I have that wood grain that I'm thinking is going to be my background. So what I'm going to do is I'm trying to make sure, or I want to make sure, I guess I should say, that I like this background and the design that I have in my head of how I want this layout to look. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm kind of just going to lay everything out where I think it's all going to live. So that's what you see me doing here. And while I'm doing that, I will tell you that this picture is of my son and my husband, and this is a photo from when we were on vacation, and I wanted to scrapbook it. There's not a huge story with this or anything like that. This is just a photo. I thought it was really cute of the two of them, and this is typical for us when we do go out to eat, which isn't very often, but when we do get out to eat in a restaurant, these two are often, they usually sit beside each other, and they will often pull out the cell phone and be looking at funny things on YouTube or the internet or whatever. And it's good because, they're spending some time together, and Aiden and his dad are getting a good kick out of each other. So it's just really cute. It's a picture that I snapped of the two of them. So I decided that, yes, I like how this is coming together. So I decided that I love my frames. I love my background, but it's boring. It's graphical, but it needs something. And so I take my clear gesso, and it's the Liquitex. And if any of you watching this video, if you have a clear gesso that you like that isn't super gritty, please tell me what you use, because I hate this Liquitex one. It is so gritty. I really hate it. But I do go ahead and I put that on my frames and I set that off to the side to dry. While that is drying, I did decide that this paper that has, and I believe it's from a Simple Stories Reset Girl collection, I cut some of those little birds out that were green, and I'm going to fussy cut those out here for my layout. Then I took those 2 green strips of pattern paper that I cut, and I am just going to actually border punch those strips out. And that's what I was doing there. So once that was all done and my background was dry, like I said, I knew I wanted to add something to it. So I decided to take my Shirataki or Shirataki or whatever they're called, watercolors, and I decided to use this turquoisey green, which is probably my favorite color in that entire set. And I decided that I was going to watercolor the inside of each one of those labels. And I love this. I love the watercolor look of this. I love that there are parts that are lighter and there's parts that are darker, and that I kind of shade and fade and kind of dab, and I love the way that this background turned out. So I'm going to show you me coloring in a few of these at the top. And I don't make you sit and watch me color this entire sheet, but that is what I do. So I do these first couple, and then you'll see me cut to a completed background of all of these frames colored in with that beautiful turquoisey green. And I absolutely love it. So while I was doing that, I also decided that I really did not like the wood grain. I love a wood grain background, but for this, I felt like it was too light and it wasn't going to give me the impact that this black text paper was going to give me for my background. I really love the graphical nature of this, and the black and white just makes everything pop. So I changed out my background, and then now I am just matting up my photo. I did go ahead and do my journaling on that ephemera piece from the All the Good Things Vicky Boutin collection. And so, like you saw me earlier in the video lay everything out on how all this layout was going to flow, or where all the pieces were going to go. You're going to see me lay it all out, and then I will go off camera and glue it all down. But I wanted you to see again where all of the different bits and pieces were going to land. I kind of play around with the placement of things. The birds I have those finally cut out. I have a chipboard piece that says wonderful. I have a bee that is our last name, so I thought that was fitting. I have some freckled fawn foam words, one in happy and one in smile. I have some of those large wooden gem sticker pieces that are going to go on this layout. My title for this one is super original, and it just says love this. And then I do take a little label that says ticket to my heart, and then another little one that says XOXO. So super simple title, but I really love it. And I'm just going to lay everything out here, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that. As you see, I'm going to glue everything down, but before I do glue it down, I do take my, I think this is Hickory Smoke Distress ink, and I will ink everything up and glue it all down. So before I actually glue everything down, though, I did switch the camera back on really quickly because I wanted to just show you that I decided that the edges where I have that border paper and the labels meeting up, I felt like it needed something else. So I took some of the washi tape from my stash kit, and I am taking the black, and there's actually butterflies on it, but you don't really notice them so much. But I am going to take 2 pieces of that and use that to just go along the edge where those 2 papers meet up. And I really like, again, just the little detail that that adds. And that washi tape was not very sticky, so I do secure it with a little bit of my Scotch quick dry glue there. So here everything is glued down. The only thing I added off camera was some sequins, and here are the still shots. So guys, if you like this one, make sure you subscribe and see what else that I create, and I will catch you guys the next time. Bye-bye.